friends, I'm inspired to paint a jellyfish. I have some really vibrant new paints and I want to play with them some more. Let's get started. Here's a photo that I took at the Omaha Zoo. It's the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo. It's a huge zoo. It has an awesome aquarium, a jungle, a desert dome. Oh gosh, I think a wildlife safari park. If you guys are ever in Omaha, you should go to the zoo. Anyway, so I took this photo. There's a bunch of jellyfish. It was really well lit. The water looked blue. Isn't that pretty? So then I took it. Oh, there's the traceable I made from it. So I just took it, cropped it, rotated a little bit in Photoshop, but you could use any photo editing program. And then I just traced it. I have a light table you could hold up to a window. I traced it and made it traceable for you guys. This is 8 inch by 8 inches. You can scale it up or down for any size painting you want, or crop it vertically or horizontally to fit whatever you want to paint on. So I just wanted to show you that. Usually I can't show you my photo because I don't have the rights or the license to it, but this one's mine. And then I'm going to paint on an 8 by 8 inch canvas panel. So it's just, I don't know what's in there. I believe this is from Michael's. And it's gessoed. And then I got, a little while ago, Hippie Crafter sent me some free paints. So there's their paints. And I did a product review video. They didn't ask me to do this video. I'm just doing this on my own, but they have some really vibrant colors. So I think we're gonna play with these a little bit more because I want to get to know them a bit better. Probably use the Viridian green. But anyway, I'll get my palette set up and we'll start having some fun. I also want to mention while I'm thinking of it, I'm using a new microphone. So let me know how it sounds. Those of you that have watched several of my videos, let me know what you think. I got it for Christmas, which was really fun. Okay, and I'm going to use a filbert brush. I don't know what size it is. Gosh, a little bit bigger than my thumb. Oh, and I should tell you the colors. So I'm going to use Viridian. And I put out some yellow, but I don't know if I'm going to need it. It's called Mid Yellow. And then Phthalo Blue. We're going to paint right out of the tube, so this should be really fun. No mixing, no worrying, and I'm just going to paint the background. I probably will time-lapse this and then come back in with a couple of comments. Okay, a couple thoughts. My hands are kind of wet. I just washed out my brush. I guess we'll start there. So I just washed my brush out with soap and water, and you can see that it's stained, but just wash it until it runs clear. Wash it a couple times. It won't hurt it. Other paints, not just Hippie Crafter paints, will stain your brushes. That's not a big deal. I don't know if you can, oh, my hand's red. I don't know if you can see that. And look, I did dry, oh, it's wet on the side. I didn't dry it that well. Hang on, I'm going to dry it again with a hairdryer. I like that I put the yellow in there. It kind of gives it a, I'll get a little closer, like there's maybe a little sun coming from the top, like the jellyfish is maybe a little closer to the surface. And then this is a little deeper down. If you noticed, I worked one corner to another. And don't worry if it dries on you, because then if you noticed at the end, I just dry brushed some of this color up and then put a little bit more yellow in the Viridian and dry brushed it down just to blend it in. I did paint the sides. And don't worry if they're not exactly matching when they go over. You can just touch it up with whatever paint you have on your canvas. And next I'm going to splatter. If you want to see me splatter, you can check out my winter pine tree video. It shows you how I splattered with both a toothbrush and a regular brush. But I'm going to try and keep this video shorter, so we'll time lapse that. So I used a toothbrush for the dark blue, what color was that? Oh, phthalo blue. And then if you notice, I got a blob on there, so I just soaked some of it up with a paper towel and then blended it in with a brush. And then here you can see how that toothbrush looks. And then with a toothbrush, can you see how blue my nail is? It's a little messy. Here, maybe compare my nails. This one's blue. So then I decided I usually like to use a brush, and the longer the bristles, the better, because then you get more wiggle. And so I thinned out some white paint with just a little teeny bit of the Viridian, and then splattered on there. And I think what we're going to do is let this dry overnight. You don't have to. You could surface dry it with a hair dryer, but it's getting late, so I'm going to let it dry overnight. And then I'll cut out my traceable, and we'll transfer the image right onto here. And then we'll start painting the jellyfish. Oh, and if you want to see a paint review of the Hippie Crafter paints, here's the image of the review video. And there's a traceable for these poppies too. So it's both paint swatches, testing out the paint, comments about the Hippie Crafter paint, and then it has a time-lapse painting video and a traceable if you want to do that. Sort of a 2-in-1 video. Okay guys, I'll be back tomorrow. Take a look at what I've done so far. I decided to add some light bubbles. I used some matte medium and a little bit of a light yellow-green color. These, I wanted to tell you, are makeup. Oh, sorry, I bumped my camera. These are makeup brushes, but they're also essentially mop brushes. So if you want some really inexpensive brushes, you might take a look at in the makeup section. I like them. Actually, this one worked quite well. This one was a little too big, which, you know, I suppose I could have guessed because it's got long bristles, but this one worked quite well. And then I scribbled on the back of my traceable with some black charcoal. And then I drew over it with a ballpoint pen to transfer the charcoal onto my painting. My painting had been dry for a couple days. This is a couple days later. I did put on the bubbles, but there's not that many, and the paint wasn't that thick, so I dried it with a hair dryer, so that worked just fine. You can dry with a hair dryer and then use a traceable, but sometimes it can be a little sticky. It's kind of nice to let it dry overnight. And I didn't draw here. I didn't draw all the sort of hints that I gave you, because I'm just going to use a flat brush to paint some of these big tendrils. I just drew the outside boundary ones so I know how far out I want to go. This is a charcoal pencil. And I think what I'm going to do is try to paint some transparent white. Either I'll use some of the, titanium white and some of the matte medium. Here's the matte medium that I use. And I'll use the titanium white and the Hippie Crafter paint to make a transparent white and then make some highlights, and we'll just see how it goes. I'm not totally sure how I'm going to paint that jellyfish, but I just wanted to pop in and let you know what I'm thinking. I also may splatter it some at the end so I have different depths of bubbles and splatters going on. I think from here on out we'll do a time lapse. friends, take a look at this yummy, yummy jellyfish painting. I just love how vibrant the Hippie Crafter acrylic paint colors are. They're just gorgeous. They're self-sealing. If you don't want to varnish your painting, it's ready to go. I like to be safe, and I splattered some of, these little splatters could be pretty thin. So I like to put a gel gloss, I call it an isolation layer, over my paintings after it's good and dry. And then after that's dry, I put a UV varnish on it. I usually use a satin UV varnish. Liquitex is my favorite, but you can use anything you want. I want to thank Hippie Crafter for sending these paints. They didn't pay me to do this video. They did send the paints for me to do a paint review video, which you can find on my YouTube channel. But this one I just wanted to do for fun. They didn't ask me to do it, so I want to make that clear. Here, maybe I'll show you a little closer look. I love how it glows. I mixed matte medium with the white, so I get a transparent look with the paint. If you do it with water, that's where your paints can get kind of thin, and they might sort of, people say they crack off. The paint could, I don't know what else they call it. I've never had it happen to me, so I don't exactly know how to describe it. Probably because I seal my paintings so well, but it's just gorgeous. What else I want to say? Oh, I just added some dots with my brush at the end instead of resplattering. I just brought forward some dots. Oh, and I used some matte medium and mixed some colors just to bring out some of the bigger bubbles a little bit better. I think that's about it. Oh, I know. So on my traceables page, I noticed last month I had about a little over 200 visitors, which is so awesome. I really appreciate that. But I can't tell which PDF you're downloading. And the PDFs, I suggest you send $1 for them. But if you can't, please download them for free, because my goal is just to spread joy. I want you guys to have fun. But if you do download some of my PDFs, if you wouldn't mind sending me a message through social media, through my email, and let me know which ones you downloaded, and then if you painted them, which ones you enjoyed painting. So that way I can make videos of things that you'll enjoy doing, have fun with, that sort of thing. So I really appreciate it. I think that's all I need to say. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. Great, big, happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you guys soon. Bye.